morning, ladies and gentlemen, again, and I thank you for joining this edition of the webinar. My name is Charles Njoya. I'm a CPA, I'm a tax strategist, and I'm also a wealth coach. If this is the first time that you're joining our program, please share the program. Please like it. Please follow us on YouTube, follow us on Instagram, and follow us on TikTok and on Facebook. We share a lot of valuable programs, and you can also click the notification button so that you are the first to be notified whenever we have our program. We send out a lot of valuable videos. I am very impressed with the turnout today, and I think we can do a lot better. So guys, just keep sharing. Once you join, please share the video so many more people within the community can join and be part of the financial education, the tax and wealth management community. We salute you. So every year throughout your entire life, and I've said it so many times, you are going to pay taxes as the most important bill you have. The government, in as much as governments want to take that money, their objective is not to make you pay taxes. Their objective, they do not need that money. They like the money, you pay them, they do not need that money. What they need, and that is why you see the rich don't even pay. People complain that the rich don't pay their fair share. And that's because the government's objective is not to follow the rich, it's not to get taxes. The objective of the government is to focus more on those areas that they need you and I to do. They need you to do those things that they don't know, they don't have the resources to do. They want you to create businesses. They want you to focus and build your own retirement. They want you to invest in your educational programs. They want you to build roads. They want us to build airports. They want building hospitals. They want us to create jobs for residents. They want us to invest in affordable housing. They want us to invest in commercial real estate. They want us to invest in sustainable activity and all these things. When you do these things, what the government does, they give you what they call incentives. So when you focus, this is why when you do these things, they give you the incentive. Some call them loopholes, but but you cannot go into these ventures blindly. You need help, and that is why we're here to help you in the journey. Today, we are going to be discussing how we can help you in the journey. And since we are going in the tax season, we'll be telling you our giveaways for this tax season. Last week, I told you of a fine gentleman. I told you that somebody I've been working with. He is one of my most important partners in the business of strategic tax planning and wealth management. He's a financial advisor with extensive experience in the business. He is done tremendously well for himself and aims to help others to make it happen for them as well. Now, I was going to talk about Steve, and Steve just, I was going to talk about Steve, and then he just disappeared on the line. Steve, you may want to reconnect. So Steve just disappeared on the line. Let me see. So Steve, I'm going to, yeah, so I'm adding the person back. So I was talking, he was here, and when I start talking about him, for some reason, he disappeared. So, like I said, he's a financial advisor. He's one of the most important person I work with in the program. He has more than 30 years experience in this business. He's done tremendously well for himself. And his aim is just to help other people, those in the other communities, to also benefit from what he has. So today I am going to be speaking to Steve, and I know he's already connected. You can see him he's an incredible partner to CHN. He helps us defer and eliminate taxes. He will help you with things like, I can talk about so many things about this guy, but I'm just going to allow him speak for himself. So hello, Steve. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Charles. Thank you for having me on. It's certainly a pleasure, and I will just let everyone watching out there know that one of the reasons I value Charles as a partner is that he is a good man. He has a strong moral compass and the highest standards of ethics and integrity. And that's the first thing I look for in a partner. Beyond that, he's incredibly experienced, and I think that's what matches us up pretty well as partners. I try to think of myself as a pretty moral guy, and yeah, as Charles mentioned, I started my career as an investment advisor and then spent the next 30 years in sales and management roles in various companies, investment companies, and decided 2 years ago to come back to the advisor role, and because I thought that was the best place that I could truly help people, whether it's with rollovers or their IRAs or saving for college, whatever the case might be. And so, yeah, I'm very honored to be on here, honored to be your partner. And yeah, we have a lot to talk about today.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you for all those great words. Thank you. I appreciate that. So as you have heard, Steve is the guy we work with to, I've talked to you about how to develop business, how to create generational wealth for your families, how to set up Roth, how to convert Roth, how to create educational plans, how to do your solo 401ks, business 401ks, all those things. I do them with Steve. And Steve, can you just maybe tell us a little bit about what's trending now in your sector? What should people be expecting this tax season?
Yeah, well, actually, I'll back up a little bit and just say that, one of the big differences between a CPA and a financial advisor, and many people confuse the two. They think, well, we all deal with money. Charles's job is to really help you save money in taxes, find loopholes, opportunities, whatever it might be. My job is to help you create wealth, take that money that you're saving, and how do we implement the strategies that Charles recommended that you do. So Charles, if you're a business owner, Charles can tell you that you need to open a SEP IRA to defer money for taxes, but he can't actually set up a SEP IRA for you. That's where I come in, or a Roth IRA, or whatever it might be. So Charles can make the recommendation to you what to do, but then I, as a financial advisor, I'm the one that can actually implement that for you. One other thing that I want to just mention briefly is that one big difference that's happened in the financial advisor industry over the last, I would say, 20 years is that many financial advisors have become portfolio salesmen, if you will. They want to put you into a portfolio and then move on to their next prospect. There's still a small number of us who consider ourselves true financial advisors who do take an active interest and a very proactive interest in your savings and your what you're doing with your savings for whatever it might be, retirement. Maybe you want to buy a lake house, investment in a new business, whatever it might be. My job is to put together strategy for you. Some of the big things right now, there's a lot of turnover in the job market. A lot of people are changing jobs. That creates a lot of rollovers. People are in their 401k at work. They go to a new job. What should they do with that old money? And I find in many cases there are a lot of myths and misconceptions that lead people to make mistakes that they shouldn't be making, but they don't know better. So I help a lot of people walk through that rollover process. What do you do with that money? What's the best way to invest it? Another trend right now, at the end of the year, Congress passed the Secure 2.0 Act. That's going to have a big effect on retirement savings, IRAs, and one immediate effect is anyone that's turning 72 in 2023, we're probably told that they would have to take a required minimum distribution. That has changed, and they now will not have to take that until 2024. So you'll have until 2024 when you turn 73 instead of 72. So that's the other big change. And right now, everyone's talking about IRA contributions. How can I put money into a Roth or a traditional IRA or a SEP IRA, before, I have to file my taxes? How can I get that one last deduction in or one last tax credit? So right now, I'm just talking to a lot of my clients about what they're doing with their IRAs and opening new accounts or converting traditional to Roth, whatever the case may be.
Absolutely. I mean, you have said a lot of things, and one of the things, you know, when you talk about retirement benefits are really one of the biggest areas of tax strategies. That's really one of the biggest area where you could really direct your wealth management project. When you put money, and we've said this so many times, when you put money into any of these vehicles, you're funding your later stages in life, you're funding your retirement. When you fund this money with, whether you fund it with pre-tax money or with after-tax money, this is money that will not be, and especially those that are pre-tax money. If you fund it with pre-tax money, you're basically, whatever you put into that fund as your contribution into that fund, it is not going to be taxed now. It's going to be tax deferred. And that is a big vehicle. That is where we do things with traditional IRAs, 401ks, all these things. In fact, traditional IRAs, we put up about $6,000. Is that right, Steve? Steve?
Right.
401ks, you could go as, depending on what you are, solo 401k, you can put $64,000 per person. And if you're married, you could double that number. If you are dealing with your normal 401k at your job, it's about $20,000 that you can put in there. If you are dealing with IRAs, you put money, you can put $6,000. If you're single, married, you can double that number. And these are all, some of them are even available. You just need to create them before the year end, and then you can put the money much later. And these are platforms that we talk about them. We cannot do them. Whenever a client comes to me, I am working on those with Steve. So that is why, yes.
You bring up an interesting point.
Yeah.
You know, when you're looking at your retirement savings, at some point it should be your largest asset. It should be worth more than your house. If you do it right, it should be, when you go to retire, it should be your biggest asset. And I think the most common mistake people make is that when they have a 401k at work or a 403b, whatever it might be, they put in what they think they can afford. And it might be 2 or 3% of their pay. The problem is, you know, back in the old pension days, like our grandparents, you know, they would work for 40 years for a factory and then get a monthly pension check when they retired. The company was putting away anywhere from 10 to 15% back then. So now people think they can put away 2 or 3% and still retire. It doesn't work. So we really need to change the conversation and get people focused on what you want to provide in retirement. What does your retirement look like? And even if you're 20, 25 years old and have no idea what you want to do in retirement, at least have an idea that what is important to you. Is it, do you want to live comfortably? Do you want to take trips around the world every year? Do you want to make sure there's enough to leave to your kids as a legacy? You know, once you determine that, then we can work backwards and figure out what you need to be putting in and how to make that work.
Absolutely, absolutely. And one other thing, I mean, you are giving so much insight there. One other thing I tell people is that even when you're an employee, if you're an employee and you know that your employer is going to match your contributions, you should be maxing that contribution so that they can contribute, they can match it. Many a times we just put a little bit and then the guy just puts a little bit. You don't realize the power of that until you get to that age when you need those things. I mean, the other thing that I tell people is you can also, and this is very important, people put money into these buckets and don't realize that they can actually self-direct those investments.
Right.
You can self-direct your investment. If you are giving it and you're seeing that it's somewhere, I mean, people, we structure a lot of people to actually invest their monies in maybe real estate, in something that is more tangible, and they have control of it. There are ways to do that, and we know how to do that. And that's why we work in tandem with this, with Steve, so that we can make these things happen, not only for ourselves, but for everybody. And when we talk about just 401ks, IRAs, putting money on retirement for your children, or even making your children work for you, and then creating what you call a custodial Roth for the kids. This is what you call, these are really the main vehicles for building a generation, for building generational wealth. And most importantly, it's tax free. When you do that through a Roth, it is tax free. And then you can actually put that money in a Roth and decide to self-direct that Roth for yourself. Right, Steve?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And, you know, you're right on target. The earlier you can start, especially with kids, putting money away. If you put away just $6,000 into a Roth for your child this year, and they leave it sit for another 40 years, you know, that's going to be $50,000, which is average market growth, tax-free money.
And then imagine you just said that for 1 year. Imagine you doing it compounding for your children, let's say, and then one of the biggest strategies I have is I tell people, make your children work for you. And when they start working for you, you are paying money into those Roth, into a Roth IRA from their bank account. When you create that for them and you're paying that consistently, then you start having not only a single contribution, you start compounding contributions on an annual basis. It could be that number multiplied by a lot of numbers, right, Steve?
Oh, absolutely. And you hit a good point on business owners. You know, there's so much you can be doing with your retirement plan. A lot of times business owners just look at, well, I just want to put in something. That's not really the attitude to take. You really, if you really put forth the effort, maybe a cash balance plan is going to be best if you're, you know, if you want to put away $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year, depending on your age. Maybe something like a LIRP, life insurance retirement plan. There are a lot of different things out there that people can look at, and that's the benefit, I think, to sitting down with you and I to figure out what's the best route for them to take.
Absolutely. I mean, Steve, we can talk about these things forever because I know that is the biggest vehicle, and that's one of the big vehicles we have for building generational wealth. People have done it. The community I come from, we have not really done that. And that is why it is really an eye-opener for our communities. A few people have known it before, but I don't see many people in my business who have taken advantage of that. And that is what we keep telling people. Use the services of people who know how to do it. These things are long-term things, and you want to make sure that you are investing in a proper way. Social security is not going to be there next year. You don't know. The expectation is that by 2030, Social Security is almost gone. It's currently a Ponzi scheme. We are the ones contributing for the much older people right now. And by the time we get to our turn, it is not going to be there, folks. Let's make sure we prepare for those things right now, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And just to go off topic a little bit, I'm going to take you to task for an earlier comment you made. You told people to follow the news. I tell a lot of my clients to stop watching the news. If you watch Fox Business News or CNBC, oh, the market's terrible, everyone's losing money. That's not the case. If you're in a balanced, diversified portfolio, then yeah, the market goes up and down. That's what the market does. But if you're in a good portfolio, over time, over the long run, you'll make money. Historically, it's always happened.
Yeah. I just wanted to tell those who are on Instagram that I have Steve on Facebook. So if you could join on Facebook instead, it's making a lot of sense, because at this point, I feel like you guys are left out, and those on YouTube are left out as well. So yeah. So I just wanted to call that attention. I am sorry about this, but we are gradually growing. We're going to make it better so that when we are on one platform, everybody can see it on all the platforms. Sorry about that, guys, on Instagram, those who are on YouTube. I'm sorry about that. So having said this, let's continue with some of the things that Steve, just stay tuned. I'll call you back in as we go ahead. I see a lot of comments coming in and people asking questions. If any of you out there has a question for Steve, please just note it down and then we'll talk about it as we by the end of the program. Again, we are in the heart of the tax season, and we want to make sure that each and every person is prepared, properly prepared for this tax season. So if you have any questions, either for me or for Steve, just put the questions in, and we are going to answer them towards the end of the program. Thank you. So last week I told you, we have closed that one. Let me look at my notes. Guys, I do have notes, so please just bear with me. So let me tell you a little bit about myself, because when I talk, many people have tried to know a little bit about me. Those who know me know me. Those who don't know me don't know me. I want to tell you about my background a little bit so that you know why I feel like why I can actually speak on this on some of these subjects with some authority. First, basically, I am a first-generation immigrant from Cameroon. I have not always been an entrepreneur, but I sailed through college in the University of Njoya in Cameroon. For those who know Cameroon, I was the second batch of the university and the first batch of students graduating in accounting in that country. I mean, the first batch of students graduating in accounting from a university in English-speaking students in that country. So when I got to university, accountants were scarce in our market, in the country, and all of them were either trained in neighboring Nigeria, in France, in England, or in the United States, and some went to some of those other countries. It was a high-class society set of people, and they were the very first to have gone through the program, and we were the very first to have gone through the program through a local university. So I saw a lot of opportunity in this personally, and I decided to bring together a group of students in what we called at the time the University of Njoya Accounting Association. I'm talking about this because this was a springboard to me, and it can help somebody. So this turned out to be really the springboard for not only for me, for many of the students. It was huge for us, and many who saw the vision and embraced it. It really changed our lives. We started Yuba with 3 people, and long story short, by the time we were leaving the university, we had made ourselves known to almost the entire business community in the in Cameroon, in the country. We had the opportunity to help the university place up to 72 students on internship. That was huge. This landed me personally. I was the president of the association. It landed me a job in one of the largest public accounting firms in the world, one of the largest consultancies in the world. I landed a job with PwC, and at the time, I was the only person within PwC who had trained in Cameroon. So I was on trial. They took me for a training for a month, and by the time the month ended, I was already on payroll. I did so well that they engaged me on payroll. And 2 years down the line, that company decided to invest in me. They relocated me to the UK, where I went and trained in oil and gas. I went and trained in also as a chartered accountant. So I returned to PwC in Francophone Africa a couple of years later after living in, principally I was in Aberdeen. So when I returned to PwC Africa, my role in PwC Francophone Africa was the reporting manager for all group reporting clients. That was a big, significant role. By the time I was 10 years within PwC, I was a known equity partner. So I left PwC in 2011, PwC Cameroon, and then I moved to the United States, and then I joined PwC again in the United States. So I was in PwC in the Chicago area. My office was in Iowa. I was in Iowa for a couple of years. Then I left. I left because I needed to build my own business. When I left, I joined a mid-sized firm in the Midwest. I was in charge of assurance in that business. and I was instrumental in growing that business to the point we have branches and a branch even here. When I left PwC, I joined, I just want to tell you, through this education, the reason I went into a smaller firm was mainly because I had worked extensively with bigger firms. So I needed to know the community. I'd worked with bigger companies. I'd been working in large companies. And I knew that as an entrepreneur, my business would mainly be with smaller businesses, smaller companies, entrepreneurs. I did not know them. With PwC, I get to work with the Fortune 500 and things like that. So that's one of the reasons, that's one of the main reasons I joined the smaller firm. And when I left that firm, it was a tremendous learning experience. I understood how these things work. I knew how to do most of the things that small business. I learned how to build wealth, how to grow businesses in smaller communities. And that is how I created my firm 2 years ago. We started with, I started this firm in 2018. We started first as a partnership. It didn't work out. And then we went out and created CHN. So what is CHN? Let me tell you a little bit about CHN. So CHN is, at CHN, we have 3 structures. The first is CHN Advisors. CHN Advisors, what do? We structure businesses. We help you meet your strategic intent. We help you optimize your taxes. We help you limit your liability through the structure we create for you. We also do financial audits. We do accounting and bookkeeping for businesses. We do tax preparation for individuals and corporations. We help you plan your wealth building portfolio. We also help you with drawing your business plans and access to capital. That's what we do on the CHN Advisors. CHN Tax Resolution, really where our brother and butter is growing. We do a lot. You have received a letter. You have received a threatening letter from the IRS. They say you owe them money. They are threatening to garnish your wages. They are threatening to place a lien on your assets. They are threatening to even seize them through a levy. We will help you negotiate that for less than what you owe. We will help you take advantage of government programs that are out there. And we will help you, most importantly, from the date you contact us. From that date, and remember, the government they're currently on a compliance crazy program where they have about 87,000 people that they are for compliance officers that they are hiring. So letters are flying all over the place. So if you're out there and you have any issues, any letter, any notices from the IRS, and you don't know how to go about it, I suggest you just contact us. Or you know a friend who is struggling. We help people $1 million, 500,000, 200,000, 10,000, 500,000. Any amount up to, we normally start from $8,000. But if you are below that number, we still help you. That's what we do for our community. We have another entity which is called CHN Financial, where we helps with credits. We also help you with financial literacy, and that's what we do on this program. We teach people, we talk to people, we bring in people who know how to do some of these things to talk about those things to you. Those are the things we do. So what have we put together for the tax season? We have put together a very impressive package for our clients this tax season. We are committed to helping you optimize your tax position this year. We will not have you pay a dime more than what you're entitled to paying. We are not just tax preparers. We are a CPA firm with extremely qualified tax experts who would provide you the tax consultation you need to help you avoid those taxes legally and to help you meet your strategic goals. We do not just prepare taxes for a refund. We prepare taxes to help you meet your strategic overall goal. I've always said that taxes are a strategic tool. They are not just a compliance tool, and they should be prepared with that understanding and not just the intent of getting a refund. I strongly believe that focusing on refund is usually a mistake, but I don't mind helping people. We do a lot of people. We help you get the maximum refund you can. Focusing on wealth building for me is, for future generation is for me the goal. Please call us, and we have a code, CHN20. If you give us CHN20 is our discount code. It gives you a discount of 20% on all our prices across the board. We currently through a partnership program with a company that what we do, we also provide you advanced loans. So if you're out there, you've not received your W-2, or if you've not received your 1099 yet, and you are in need of getting advanced money, we are able to give you what we call holiday loans. And those loans, they started during Christmas, so you can get a certain amount of money from there. There is also something that gives you up to $6,500 as a loan against your future refund. So if you need money, you may want to contact us. These programs are not there forever. They are there through the initial parts of the tax season. If you send a friend, you get a referral of $50. And if you're filing your taxes with us, you get these discounts as well. Also, we will also help discuss with an array of our consultants that we work with. We work with lawyers, we work with financial advisors, we work with loan officers. These are all people within our strategy group that we help you access upon need, and so that you can do what you do best. And for entrepreneurs who are on this platform, I keep telling you, and I'm going to repeat that, one of the most important things that we as entrepreneurs, we forget is bookkeeping is the key. It's the one thing that will avoid you losing money. It is the one thing that will also avoid you problems in case of a tax resolution issue. It is also that one thing that gives you access to other people's money, because it allows you to properly represent and properly do tax make plans and get access to other people's money. So, having said that, Steve, do you have any contributions that you may want to add? Let me see some questions that are coming in. So somebody's asking me, how do I, he's asking, how do I set up a child's, he says, child's fund? I assume they are talking about education fund. Steve, I think it's 529s or something like that. What do you have to answer to that?
Yeah, there are two different things. You can do a 529 for your students or a Coverdell program. They have different contribution limits to them, but that's just where I work with clients one-on-one to figure out how much you want to put away, what kind of flexibility you want when it's time for the money to come out. Now, the one thing that I always recommend, having just put 3 kids through college and paying for it, I've become somewhat of an expert. The one thing I recommend is it's great to have the 529 or Coverdell, but that's only going to pay for a lot of the school costs. So tuition, books, on-campus housing. There's a lot of other expenses that come along with sending a child to college. So I always recommend setting up a side fund as well outside of that account to pay for, maybe you'll need to buy them a car or off-campus living, whatever it might be. So it's good to have some other accounts set up as well. And then, it depends. One thing that, one value I think I add is that when my clients, when their children do get to junior in high school, I know from experience that their kids are going to want to start touring colleges. And so it's important that we take some of the savings we've put aside for you and turn that to cash, liquidate it, so that there's some cash on hand. Because let's say your child wants to visit Florida State. Well, there's 2 airline tickets, a hotel room, rental car, probably $200 application fee to the school. So you can be well over $1,000 per visit. And so it's good to have some cash on hand for that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Again, yeah. So I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to add anything to this. I think he's the expert in that area. All I know is that those things, when you put them together, you're going to get a lot of tax benefits on there. And I urge my clients to make sure they structure themselves in a way as to optimize that. I mean, I see a lot of returns coming to me, especially for those people who have resolution issues. And I get a lot of resolution issues coming these days. 90% of resolution issues are coming just because people don't, I mean, they are structured poorly. They get a Schedule C, and then they make money. They are not putting money in any of those programs that could help them optimize their money. So, yeah, that is why we keep talking about these things. There's still a lot of those programs that are available until the end of the tax season. But please contact us, share our videos, let people hear us, let people know that we talk about these things. It's not only going to be Steve. You will hear a lot of Steve during the next coming programs, but you also hear from lawyers. You hear about how to structure, how to put in, how to get your living trust set up, how to make these things happen, because these are the ways. You don't want to go through probate when something happens either to you or to your family member. I think trusts are the way to go, especially when you're building generational wealth. And trusts are not done by anybody. They are done by people, because these are legal documents. These are documents that if you don't do them properly, they don't mean a thing, and you completely lose out on everything you structure. So, guys, this is our platform. Let's just share, talk to people, and then we'll try to make this happen on a more regular. Again, we already know our timing. We've been here for how many minutes? It's been 40 minutes. We have 5 more minutes. So any other questions, we are ready for them. Steve, I'm going to ask you a question that I had from somebody. So basically, the question is, just give me 1 minute of somebody sending something to mine. So, Steve, tell us, I know you've told us about, many questions are coming about children. So people are excited. I mean, people want to know how they can create funds for their children and how they can do that. Like I said before, there are programs. I know Steve has spoken a little bit about children. You can someone is asking what age can you really start making your children work for you? That's a good question, but let me tell you, the IRS, the standard from the IRS perspective is for any cost to be deductible, because you're trying to create a cost that's going to be deductible for you. For any cost to be deductible, it has to be reasonable. That's number 1. And number 2, it has to be ordinary. So it has to be ordinary and reasonable in the operation of a trade or business. Okay. So if you had a child, most of us we have our children doing our social media. He's just 8 years. He's posting things on social media. As long as that cost is ordinary for the business and it's necessary for that particular business, then it is deductible. So the reality is that children, children can work for you as long as they can provide reasonable services that are ordinary and necessary for your business. In the state of Texas, we don't have an age limit for that, because the rule gave an age limit, but they go further to say, as long as you work under the supervision of your parents. That is why we're talking about parents making their children work for them. They are working under your supervision and they're providing a service, then the age doesn't really matter. Am I right, Steve?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And, I would probably just add, that's for business owners, that's one of the biggest things that they overlook is putting spouses and children onto the payroll. A lot of times the spouse, helps out at the business and why not make her an employee or him an employee? And there can be huge benefits to that. So if you're a business owner, it's very important that you meet with someone like Charles or myself or TPA and find out, because they can run a million illustrations on from your census data, from your employee count, and show you exactly who should be in and out of the plan and what's going to be the maximum benefit.
Absolutely. 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 I mean, we can talk about these things forever. I have a whole webinar on how to make your children work for you and how you can build generational wealth tax-free, making your children work for you. I don't expect any person who has a business and who has children and that children is not working for you. But there's a process to it. It's not just getting the child to work for you and you think you can deduct it. There's a process to it. There are rules around it, and we can help you with that. So if you have any of those questions, any more questions, please just send them on our platforms. Email us. You know how to contact us. You can contact us on our email. You can contact us by email, you can go onto our website, chnadvisors.com, and then you can get access to you can get access to me. You can call me directly on my cell phone. I have a cell phone, which is really an official cell phone. That number on there, it's 641-451-4467. And then we have another cell phone. Just contact us. You can call on Instagram, on any of the platforms. If you contact us, you'll get us. Steve, how do people contact you? I know they can come through me, but is there another way?
Yeah, they can just yell out their window, "Hey, Steve," and I'll hear them and respond. So, no, of course, you can email me at steve.spurling, SPURLING, at edwardjones.com. steve.spurling at edwardjones.com, or you can reach me at 281-383-9635, and that's my office number here in Spring. And I would also just mention in closing that I'll be doing a seminar on the 18th of this month. It's a Wednesday night. It's going to be at the Spring Creek Barbecue on 249 in Tomball, and it's going to be an educational seminar, not a sales pitch. It's entitled Broadening Your Investing Knowledge, just helping you make some sense out of markets and what do different things mean. And then I'm also going to have someone else speaking on the psychology of investing and why people make a lot of the same mistakes or good choices that they do. So it'd be very informative for you.
We are all working on that. And that, we'll talk about that on this program, and we'll make sure we have our people. Our objective is to make it. We are here to win, and we must win together. Mm-hmm. That is why we keep getting these programs out here, bringing the right people to talk to us. I just want to thank you guys for being here today. These videos are going to be available online. They are on YouTube, they are on Instagram, and they are on Facebook. You'll have reels on them. Just go share our videos. Also like us also follow us on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, follow us even on TikTok, and you will get a lot of tips. We post tips on a daily basis. You'll get emails coming from us through email messages. And again, if you have any problems, if you have any tax issues, we are here for you. This is tax season. Contact us. We are here to help you make sure you are optimizing on your taxes. Thank you, Steve, for making this happen.
If I could say one last thing, yes. There are enough forces out there that are driving us apart as people, as a society. So I just want to thank you for connecting people and bringing people together. It's great.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Guys, I bless you. I thank you all, and let's have an excellent rest of the day. And for those of you who are soccer fans, today there's no Premier League game. Oh, geez, come on. I'm not happy about this. But we have a lot more other things to do, right? You have a great day. Bye-bye. 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 Bye.